Welcome back. The rookies, comeback players of the year over the past 5 seasons have come from the position player and pitching ranks almost in equal form. One reliever on the board. That was when Daniel Bard won it with 2020's Rockies. Posey and Mancini in 21. Justin Verlander not only wins AL Comeback Player of the Year last year, but the Cy Young, and of course, Albert Pujols with a magical final act last year. So Keith Costas joins us for this discussion as we preview the class of potential comeback players of the year in 2023. And Keith, I guess it's a list that most players don't want to be on because it means that the previous year was disappointing from either an injury or performance standpoint. But let's run down some of the names.
Yeah, that's true. We're going to start with the hitters. We'll get to the pitchers later in the week. But got 4 candidates for you. Run through the cases here. You guys tell me who you're most confident in when I'm finished and potentially bouncing back this year. All right, first candidate here, Yasmani Grandal. Now, the top line is what's interesting here. The exact same number of plate appearances, essentially, so it's a fair sample size to compare. Never been a guy that hits for a high average, obviously, but you look at 2021, highest on-base percentage in the AL and the highest walk rate in the majors, which has been his MO over the years, and hit plenty of home runs. Now, the knee's given him trouble each of the last 2 years. The back was an issue last year as well. But that walk rate was cut basically in half, which is basically what drives his on-base percentage, and only 5 home runs in the same number of plate appearances. So obviously a lot to be desired there. Now the second one, my hometown team, the Cardinals. Tyler O'Neill went from kind of a down ballot MVP guy to another injury-plagued season, and his numbers regressed accordingly. He finished 8th in NL MVP in 2021. The only outfielders in either league that finished 8th or higher were Soto, Harper, and Judge. So pretty good company in terms of what he was able to do. And you see that note on the bottom there, guys.
And again, Keith, I look at one thing I always say, power translates into walks, right? If you don't have any power, they're not trying to walk you.
Absolutely, especially when you're you can be a free swinger like O'Neill has been at times. Now you talk about free swingers and walk rate and strikeout rate as it relates to power. Nobody is higher on the list than this guy right here, Joey Gallo. You see the on-base percentage dipping over the last handful of full seasons. We took out 2020.
He got $1 million raise, though.
He did. He did get a raise. Good work if you can get it. You see the note on the bottom. He hit 160 last year, not walking. Still hitting for power relative to the league, but not by his own lofty standards. Another left-handed hitter to round this one out, guys. How about Brandon Lowe down in Tampa? Now, you look at 2020 and 2021, this surprised me. I knew he'd be high up the list, but I didn't think he'd be at the top. That was the most home runs by any left-handed batter over those 2 seasons combined, well above average in terms of the OPS plus. He gets on base a lot.
This is injury-related, though,
right?
It
is injury-related. He's had back issues. He's had a normal offseason, but really it kind of started in the 2021 season. You guys remember the postseason? Short series, small sample, but went 0 for 18 with 9 strikeouts in that division series against the Red Sox. And then, as you mentioned, the injuries caught up to him last year. Like I said, expects to be fully healthy and ready to go for spring training. So that's the group before we put together, guys. Grandal, O'Neill, Gallo, Brandon Lowe. Which one of those 4 are you most intrigued by?
Can I dig on this first?
Go ahead.
So, all those guys are great candidates and great players. For Lowe, he plays in Tampa where they match up all the time. I don't know that the at-bats will be there every day for him. He is a guy that can play every day. I still think they can play him against right and left, but they don't because it's Tampa. Tyler O'Neill coming back off a series of injuries last year, right? Shoulder, hammy, a couple of things going wrong for him. Yasmani Grandal's 34, and he's one of 3 catchers on the roster. I don't know that he's going to be out there every day either. The guy that's most appealing to me for Comeback Player of the Year, even though you love a switch-hitting catcher as a candidate for any postseason award, is Gallo. He's 29, and in a down year last year between 2 different teams, he hit 19 homers. Gallo's the guy with the biggest upside in this group, and for me, if I had to make a futures play on Comeback Player of the Year, he'd be my guy.
That's interesting you go there. The reason I'm biting on Gallo with you, the swing and miss drives me crazy. He's too talented to watch him catch a ball, throw a ball, and when he hits one, to not make more contact. I do believe with the rule change, no shift, there won't be 8 guys on one side of the field. Just mentally, he's going to be better at the plate. He's going to look around and see some holes and think, oh, I hit a ground ball, it got through. That's my hope for Joey Gallo, that he can make that adjustment and put the ball in play, and his power is going to just play anyway. It's just natural.
Yeah.
So I see that. But my guy, even though I went that long on Gallo, I'm going with Lowe. with Tampa.
All right.
I just think he's one of our premier second basemen. The injury held him back.
Agree. Is he gonna play against lefties?
If Keith's saying, yeah, it doesn't matter. If Keith's saying that he's going to have a full, healthy spring and he's ready to go, I'm putting my money on him all day long.
I'm a fan of his as well. The way the Rays operate, kind of hard to guess at opportunities the guy's going to have. Keith, what about you if you had to pick one from the list you just reeled off?
I think I'm with H, and I hear your concerns about the lefties, Matt, but we talked earlier in the show about Brandon Belt have potentially been a fit in Tampa. They've only got one true lefty that's going to play anywhere close to every day, and it's Lau. So I think if he gets off to a good start, they'll probably let him work through that.